Life is all about doing things properly, not perfectly, not correctly, properly. That's what standards are actually about. This morning, when I wrote my blog post, I was genuinely inspired. And in everything that I do, whenever I write about something I've seen, whatever, I have always seen it. I'm never actually making anything up. But this morning, in a Telegram group, there was somebody who had commented on a post. And instead of writing in full, "Thank you very much," they did the abbreviation in lowercase letters of TYVM. So thank you very much. And I just thought, my God, how lazy can one person be? That you've got somebody who has thousands and thousands of followers, who's just pumping out information in this particular group. And their response is they can't even be asked to capitalize the letters, you know? And the thing to me, I am sure that when people see me correcting spelling mistakes and grammar and all of that kind of stuff on Twitter, I'm sure they think that I'm a really, really irritating twat. And to be honest, they can think that because I have genuinely an absolutely passionate commitment to, to getting things, to doing things properly. And when we talk about doing things properly, we can hear it sounds quite stern. It sounds sort of business-like or studious or whatever. But the thing is, when you go out and you have fun, do it properly so that you're building experiences that are going to stay with you, are going to infiltrate your system and be fuel for all of the actual hard work that you need to do. And I've had a really interesting day today on Twitter of making lots of different comments on people's tweets and putting out completely spontaneous content myself. And what you realize is, and this also applies actually to the content that you watch. You'll get people who ask the question on Twitter all the time, these sort of bot-like spammy sort of accounts who literally only put out questions. They'll say, "Are you a producer or a consumer?" It's like, well, if you're building a business, a content-based business on somewhere like Twitter, well, obviously you are both. What they're trying to say is consume less, produce more. Okay, fair enough. But the truth is the vast majority of people aren't. Actually, they're not going to do that. But people are living in a sort of small paradigm where they want the attention from asking questions and getting the responses, but none of it really builds anything. Some of these accounts have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers, but you'll see that their engagement is incredibly low because they're not in it to actually really build a lifestyle business. They're not really committed to it. But when I go in and question or correct what seem like small details, if somebody's put YOUR when it should be the abbreviated form of UR, YOU''RE, for example, it sounds incredibly pedantic and petty. But the truth is, this is a phrase that's stuck with me from the seminars that I've done with T. Harv Eker. How you do anything is how you do everything. And confession, I have allowed this many, many times to get in the way of being really obsessive in that, overly obsessive to such a degree that I've not really gotten that much done. There's nothing wrong with having it as part of your arsenal. And what you're going to do by the standards that you have is attract the kind of person that you're going to work with. And of course, you want somebody who is sensitive to those issues, who actually cares, who gives a damn. And they're going to be clients or partners or you're going to be in relationships with those people, and it's going to be meaningful. It really is. And what I've allowed myself to do, and this is mostly in, intimate relationships and friendships, that human interactions. What I've allowed myself to do is to make excuses for people's very destructive behaviour towards me. I've made excuses for said people, and frankly, I've let them walk all over me. And I'm going through a mourning process of the final person that I'm actually going to allow, to do that to me, namely my ex. And I don't regret any of the relationships I've been in. I don't regret any of the experiences I've had. They're all wisdom from my arsenal, to be able to take on the challenges of whoever I meet in the future, whatever situations I'm faced with. It's all, I'm not calling it armor, but it's tools and skills and resilience and confidence building, character. That's what standards are actually about. They're not ways of excluding people. What they actually are is ways of welcoming in the kind of person that you are going to be able to have a joyful time with, a productive time with, a fulfilling and satisfying time with. Because we learn things from all over the place. And if you are entrepreneurial in any way in the modern era, you're going to have watched any number of people on YouTube or Facebook, or wherever it has been in the last few years, the last few decades, whatever. Whether it is the Tim Ferriss, whether it is the Jordan Peterson or the Chris Williamson of Modern Wisdom, or whoever it is, Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, whoever it is, you will have learnt a handful of really useful, applicable lessons from those people, whether it's in networking or building businesses or automation software, whatever aspect it is. There are a handful of lessons that you will have learnt that you need, if they're going to be useful, you need to actually implement. And frankly, a massive lesson for me is knowing within maybe even a few seconds of interacting with people, whether this is going to be a relationship that I want to invest in, or whether I realize, this isn't going anywhere. And our instincts are they're basically always right. Sometimes people say you might get it wrong, but the truth is there are so many people out there, and hundreds of millions and billions of people on whichever platform that you're on. The people that you're going to work with and that you're going to have a great time with, they're there. They're absolutely there. And obviously you need to be patient. You don't want to rush into decisions. I said that, I just said there that maybe there will be people that I've made up my mind about within a few seconds. I'll be honest, that is true because I've had so much experience of dealing with people that I can recognise the signs of emotional vampires very, very quickly. And I almost, one of the things that's held me back actually is that I've second guessed myself. I've doubted myself, my intuition, and I've wanted to appease people and I've wanted to make excuses for people, but it doesn't help in the long run. What helps is that you are true to yourself and that you get what you want out of your life. It's crucial. It's absolutely crucial. If you're living solely for other people, you're only ever going to be disappointed. And it feels safe to to keep repeating those same patterns of behavior because you don't want to step out and truly be free. So there was somebody, one of these massive accounts that just asked questions all the time, said, is it safe to put your trust in other people, or something like that? And I said, if you're looking for safety, you're never going to have freedom. You have to be brave. You really do have to be brave and stand your ground, be confident, say what you think, and it doesn't. Everything, information. Look at the word information. Nothing is set in stone. It really isn't. It's a process that you're going through, and you're constantly peeling off layers of the onion. And that's how you're meant to live. We can't have all of the answers all of the time. And people try. People try. We've been trying for thousands of years to have all of the answers and have absolutely everything explained. And people get so zealous in the fact that their belief system is the only right and correct way. And they become completely obnoxious with it and can't communicate with people anymore, because they're rejecting wholesale something that they don't disagree with. I see it all the time. Examine, question, and take at face value what people are saying, and then just figure out whether you agree or disagree with it or not, and choose how you want to live your life, and have standards in doing so. Disagreeing does not mean being an arsehole. It just means that you don't buy into a particular worldview. That's actually all that it means. So be brave, be bold, keep asking questions, and live your own life.